Today is the 88th birthday of Pope Francis, and as usual, the Holy Father received well wishes from all around the world as he prepares to inaugurate the Jubilee. EWTN Vatican journalist Benedict Sittigan has more on the first Pope in history from South America.
Never before Francis has there been a pope from Argentina. He is the first pope from the New World, the very first Latin American pope in history. Those back in the slums of Buenos Aires called Las Villas Miserias, literally the homes of misery, say that despite his election to the papacy, Pope Francis has stayed true to the poor, true to his origins.
He brought the church that does not look away when there is a problem, but assumes it, even if it makes mistakes, right? And he said that from the first day. I prefer a church in the field to a church locked up in the sacristy. I believe that this church in the field has been here in these popular neighborhoods from their beginnings more than 50 years ago. Yes, he basically took that to Rome. He took that poor church for the poor here in Buenos Aires there.
Mexican Archbishop Jorge Patron Wong worked closely with Pope Francis in Rome for 8 years before he was appointed Archbishop of Mérida on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. For him, Pope Francis spoke their language in more than one way.
So there is a combination of maturity and youth, and Pope Francis is noticeable because there is a theological and ecclesiastical maturity, but at the same time, a very practical dynamism in Latin America that is also noticeable in that, the language of Pope Francis. His way of communicating is very Latin America, with words, gestures, images that are very close to the people, but that have an extraordinary theological and religious depth.
Throughout his pontificate, Pope Francis has traveled to a variety of countries across Latin America, including Cuba, Chile, Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil, Mexico, and Panama. Having a Latin American pope has been a unique experience for Hispanics across the globe, and one that may not be repeated in any of our lifetimes. Or perhaps it will be, and we'll soon have the second Latin American pope in history. In Rome, Benedict Sittigan, EWTN News Nightly.